Today in Washington, D.C., immigration reform advocates gathered on the National Mall as they were exempted from the government shutdown. What kind of agenda gets you an exclusion?
We have no time to waste. The time is now for equality and opportunity for every immigrant to have a fair shot at the American dream. The time is now for our country to live up to the best traditions of liberty and justice for all.
The Obama administration says the participants were allowed on the mall because they were, quote, exercising their First Amendment rights. First Amendment, you guys. Listen, I'm all for First Amendment rights, but the issue that I was having was, and I went there, by the way. I have a couple of pictures that they may scroll. I went there, and I asked people, you know, I get the First Amendment. I get the right to protest. I get that. But they literally shut down the World War II memorial. They shut down some of the other monuments, some of the other places to go see. But they left that one open, and they really put a nice stage up and some speakers for them. I'm curious, what agenda?
And Eric, can I just ask you what happened when you tried to jump the fence, shall we say, into the immigration rally?
You want to go there?
I do.
So Nancy Pelosi finishes her speech. She comes off, she shakes some hands, and she comes off the side of the stage. I happened to see, I was on the wrong side of the stage, so I went around the other, but I had to jump over a little barrier. And I jumped over, and as soon as I jumped over, someone went like this and said, "Take this shot. See this? See this?" They said, "So you're not supposed to jump over barriers." I was just thinking how ironic
that really happened.
that was. I swear to God,
Can I answer the question, though?
Yes.
I had to get you to tell that story.
Yes.
This has turned into a total circus. If President Obama were shrewd, I mean really politically shrewd and not just hell-bent on his ideology, he would have gone down to that World War II memorial and he would have opened those gates himself. Can you imagine the press if he would have done something like that? He still keeps his feet into the ground, but it's not even that. He allows this rally, based on the same premise, the First Amendment rights that those World War II veterans had, he lets it to go on, and they encourage it. Who's paying for the police? Who's paying for all the staff that are going to cover this rally?
There are big portions of the National Mall were shut down and there are big barricades. Bob, on ships overseas, our troops listen to ministers. Sometimes priests give them sermons. They're not allowed to do that because of the shutdown. Yet, this immigration reform group can protest.
Well, that doesn't make any sense to me, and I think it's right. It's beginning to look like a circus, and it's going to rebound negatively to Obama. I don't think he had anything to do with shutting down the World War II memorial. I think his people did, and they should have done something about it. But by the way, you could go down, the Tea Party could hold a rally on the mall tomorrow. Oh, sure.
No, you need a permit. And by the way, they set up a beautiful stage with a bunch of speakers. There were a lot of cops around, a lot of park police over there.
Yeah, to give a speech.
Yeah, but someone had to pay them. Dee?
I just think if you are inside baseball and you understand how all the different permit operations work, then maybe you could understand this. But if you're mom and dad America and you're looking back and all you're seeing are these petty headlines, you're thinking, one, that everybody in Washington stinks, but you're also looking at the president saying, so there's political favors for the people that support your campaigns and your agenda, but not for America's veterans, or for people that want to drive by and take a picture of Mount Rushmore. They get barricaded from it. It all seems just so petty. And I do think that this will come back actually to hurt the president. It's why you saw a slight change in tone today and maybe more to come in the next few.
Katie, let me just throw this out there. Not only Pelosi spoke, there were some other Democrats, but a lot of Republican Congress people were on the Hill at this protest also speaking, which for me was a good thing. It was a good sign.
I do think it's a good thing, bipartisan. I think that it's ridiculous that they closed the mall to anyone. The mall is an open air place. The memorials are open air. People can go there in the middle of the night or the middle of the day. But since the White House is playing politics with this, and since the White House denied a request for the honor flight to go to the World War II memorial, which is usually open, it's important to point out that the very people who fought for the freedom of the immigration rally today to have the First Amendment right were locked out of their own memorial, and the White House stood by and watched, and that is asinine.
Bob, last thought, maximum pain inflicted.
No, I think it's a lot of political pain, and I think it's unnecessary pain, particularly at a time like this. I'm not sure it's big enough yet to change the course of events and put the Republicans on the offense. If the Republicans are on the defense, I expect they'll stay there.
That's Dana's point. Dana encouraged Republicans to go on offense with these exact issues in their districts.
By the way, I will say this. The reason that the Republicans were down there makes a lot of political sense for them. If they would just understand that if they get behind an immigration bill, they could really put some damage to us.
All right. We're going to leave it right there. By the way, the other people, the biggest group represented there, the SCIU and some of the other unions. All right.